So Tara, I'm sorry we had to switch phones. We had some technical difficulty. But if you can, let me just have you check in with your feet again. Just make sure we get you kind of back in your body. You feel to me like you're in it pretty good. Good. And so you were saying that everything on the inside just feels how?
It just feels kind of rigid.
Rigid.
Like tight, like unmovable.
Okay. And where do you notice that in your body? First you said all over, but see if it really feels like all over or more specific somewhere.
It feels like a tight kind of rod down the core.
Like a tight rod down the core. About how big around would you say that rod is? Does it fit?
Maybe like an inch.
Like an inch in diameter?
It's really tightly wound.
It's really tightly wound. Yeah, okay, so see if we can just notice it. And we don't need to do anything with or about it, and there's nothing that we don't need to understand it. See if you can just notice it. It's kind of like you're watching it, not to figure it out or try to understand it, but it's kind of like watching a movie. You're just passively kind of watching it. Do you know what I mean? You're just going to kind of passively watch it and seeing what happens. And as you do, some feelings, thoughts, memories, images might come up. It might change.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion there.
Okay. So just see if you can allow yourself to notice the emotion as it comes. And as the emotion comes, I want you to continue to pay attention to the muscles that you're using as you breathe in and out. As you notice that emotion, I want to see if you can use those same muscles to bring in just a tad bit more air than what feels natural in this moment. And let your exhale last just a tad bit longer. You don't want to work at it. Just let in a tad bit more air than what feels natural. Let your exhale last a tad longer. Really focus on your breathing and feeling your butt in the chair. And noticing the feelings, thoughts, and images that are here now. Breathe. Feel your feet. Okay, and how would you describe what's happening now?
Well, it kind of had this, like, when I focused on it, I started to feel really hot, and it was like tears were coming, and it's kind of like this tidal wave, and it's kind of, the apex has passed a little bit.
The apex is what?
Has passed a little bit.
Has passed a little bit. And so when you check inside now, what do you notice about that rod, or does it not feel like a rod anymore? Is there something different about it?
No, it doesn't feel like a rod anymore. I guess it still feels tight in my throat.
Yes.
But down here feels more loosey-goosey.
More loosey-goosey and tight in your throat. Okay. So see if you can just notice that sense of tight in your throat and the loosey-goosey in your belly to whatever degree that it's there. And there's a reason we have an expression called, I feel a lump in my throat. Yeah. And so just notice how your throat feels. And Tara, check to see, I'm not saying that there is, but if there were any compassion, if there was any compassion available from any source, either outside of you or inside of you, that's available in this moment, would you be open to it for that place in your throat?
Yeah.
Okay. And breathe. Just bring in a tad bit more air as you breathe in, and let your exhale last a tad longer. And feel your butt in the chair and feel your feet on the bridge. And stay with your breathing. And you're kind of just watching that place in your throat and feeling it at the same time. And what do you notice about it now?
Feels like a little marble like hard on the outside, but I feel like there's like a lot of energy inside.
And check to see in this moment, is there any sense at all of wanting to figure it out, wanting to fix it, wanting to get away from it, not liking it, trying to contain it, wishing it wasn't there? All of the above? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's the case for everybody. So just notice that and see if you can get a sense of it, because usually in that wanting to fix it, figure it out, not wanting it to be there, there's a little bit of tension that comes with that. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
So there's the marble feeling in your throat, and then there's also this response to it. It's like a pushing against it a little bit. Some people say it's like having the gas and the brake on at the same time. Yeah. So see if you can notice that kind of pushing against it feeling. And I'm going to ask you a smart-ass question. This is like a Dr. Phil thing. Does it feel good?
No.
All right. And so check, and this is where you need to tell me the truth. So check to see. You don't have to know how. But if you could, would you be willing to let that resistance to it, or not liking it, just let that relax for like a half a second, and then you can go back to not liking it?
I could do it for a half second.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, and then take a breath using the muscles in your body you've been using. Good. And again, there's no right or wrong. What do you notice about it now, that place in your throat? Is it more or less or about the same?
It's about the same.
It's about the same? And is there any sense of not liking it, wanting to fix it, feeling like you need to fix it? Anything like that?
Maybe I'm feeling a little bit more curious about it.
More curious? There's a sense of trying to figure it out?
No, just
more curious?
More open to it, maybe.
More open to it? Okay. And so just continue to breathe, and watch it. And feel your butt in the chair. And make sure you feel the different parts of your feet. And do me a favor and lower your chin just a tad. There you go. That's good enough. I'm going to ask you a multiple choice question. Don't overthink it. Just the first thing that pops in your head. Is this place in your throat and the feeling that comes with it, or your sense about it, does it feel like it's coming from a sense of wanting approval, which could be understanding or support or connection or love, or wanting control, or wanting security/safety?
Approval.
Yeah. So see if you can notice that sense of wanting approval. Yeah. And see if you can breathe and feel your feet. And just let that sense of wanting approval to be here. Everybody feels that. Not just you, everybody feels that sense of wanting approval. So you've been doing it anyway, so go ahead and let yourself want approval as much as you do. And really get into it and let yourself really want approval. How you want to do a good job. How you want to be good at this. However it goes. And breathe with that sense of wanting approval. And Tara, see if you can get a sense of, does it feel like a sense of trying to get approval, or it feels like there's not enough approval available?
I think we're trying to get.
Yeah. So see if you can notice that sense of trying to get it. You're kind of grasping for it, reaching for it. Yes. And what do you notice inside in this moment?
I don't know why, but I feel calmer.
Yes. Yeah, good.
That's my brain coming back in.
So your brain comes back in and says, "Why the hell do I feel calmer already?" Yeah, because you connected with it.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you let yourself feel the wanting approval and the trying to get approval, your body went, "Oh, okay, yeah, that was it." Because you may not have noticed, but you took you kind of spontaneously, organically, it looked like took a deep breath as soon as you connected with the feeling quality of it. Yeah. So it's like as soon as you're able to feel that sense of wanting approval and we named it, then your system could go, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because before that you were bracing against the wanting approval.
Mhm.
You didn't know you were bracing against it, but everybody does that.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.